Just got back home from Seattle. Can't wait to get back on my feet. The streets in my hometown are small. The town life is broken. No one seems to care. The train is chugging up from
Just to be difficult.
Just be careful of the floor. Careful. Thank you. There you
Good morning.
Good morning.
I want to thank Bill for taking time out from his world tour to appear here. Welcome, y'all. I might be from Jersey, but I've been here 6 years now. So, my name is Larry Perlman, and on behalf of the Board of Trustees, I'd like to welcome you here this morning. At this point, I would ask you to throw away, destroy, stomp on, or otherwise turn off anything you have that makes a noise, other than small children. At Unitarian Universalists, we encourage you to be true to the truth that you know in your heart. Whether your inspiration for that comes from this place, from a religious tradition, or from scientific foundation. As some of you know, we like to say, we don't have to think alike to love alike. We have no creed, however. On the front of your order of service, you'll see our mission statement, and on the back, you'll see our 8 principles. And we'd like to read a land acknowledgement. UUCSB acknowledges with respect that the land that we are on today is the ancestral land of the Cherokee and other indigenous peoples. The Cherokee, through their careful stewardship, understanding, and conservation, survived and continue to thrive in this land. We acknowledge their enduring connection to their homeland. We do have an announcement today. It's, well, immediately after today's service, we will have our annual meeting of the UUCSB membership. So here comes the begging part. In order to have a general meeting, we need a quorum. A quorum is 50 people, 50 members. So please plan to stick around, or we will detain you at the door anyway. We promise it won't be any longer than 30 minutes. Oh, we need 5 more members. 45 people have signed in. I don't think I signed in, so. The membership committee will have voting cards. They look like this. They're pretty pink cards. And they'll have them for you in the lobby. So pick up your card. All you gotta do is give them your name. They'll have a card ready for you. Thanks in advance for your participation. At this time, I'd like to give those who are here for the first time or second time, or maybe just haven't been here in a while, to stand and tell us your name, where you're from, and we'll start over on this side. I started on that side last time, there was nobody, so we'll start on this side. Anybody who would like to say?
Hi, my name is Megan, first time.
Welcome. Welcome, Megan.
Thank you, Megan. Yes.
I'm Larry, second time.
My name is Walt Milne, and I've been here before. I visited up here many years, and I finally moved here last month.
I'd like to introduce my sister, Regina, and her best friend, Lynn, from New Jersey.
What is it? Anybody else from this side? Anybody on this side?
Amanda Martin, this is my second time. I live in Bucknell.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Anybody else on this side? Okay, well, no, it does take courage to come into the community for the first time, so we appreciate you doing it. Thank you. If you have an interest in learning more about us, receiving our newsletter, or just simply staying in touch, you'll find a white card like this in the pew backs in front of you, or if there's not one there, you'll find them out in the library. Just fill it in. We promise not to hassle you. We'll just do what you want us to do. Send it in a newsletter, put you on the email list, whatever. So at this point, we'd like to continue our service.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to see you all this morning. We are Unitarian Universalists. We believe in a free mind, an open heart, and a helping hand. Today our theme is karma and forgiveness. And so these opening words are apropos because we return again and again to the topic of forgiveness. And each time we come bearing gifts. A grudge to relinquish, a hatred to extinguish, a hope that has bloated and distorted, a glancing word that has wounded someone. And each time we walk the road towards forgiveness, we mutter that I think I've been here before. When will we remember that forgiveness is not so much an act, but an attitude? Not so much a duty, as a love that we give ourselves as part of the ever-unfolding new beginning. Thank you, Diane. Will you please rise as you are willing and able and join in singing our opening hymn this morning, hymn number 186.
This is a Western known hymn, so I'm going to play the whole thing through. Not the whole
Yes, I had picked Onward Christian Soldiers. And, well, I didn't pick it, but, you know, we changed the lyrics. But still, it's haunting for some people. So thank you for picking this one. Yeah. Now I have a third one instead of the 6 hymns I use every month. Oh, the stage whisper. Okay. Please see me after service. Our responsive reading is 477 by Unitarian Universalist Vivian Pomeroy. Let's read this together. 477. Forgive us that often we forgive ourselves so easily and others so hardly. Forgive us that we expect perfection for those to whom we show none. Forgive us for repelling people by the way we set a good example. Forgive us the folly of trying to improve a friend. Forbid that we should use our little idea of goodness as a spear to wound those who are different. Forbid that we should feel superior to others when we are only more shielded. And may we encourage the secret struggle of every person.
It's the second Sunday of June when we have special music, often by talented members of the congregation. And today it's Bill Altork. Bill has been attending UUCSB for 14 years. He shares his retired life with Sue, where they live in Swannanoa. He plays music, writes songs, and walks in the woods a lot. For him, it's a time to seek greater peace and understanding in life, much of which includes relationships with friends and family.
Hey, hello, testing. Larry was talking about my world tour. Yeah, I'm on a world tour, but my world is I walk around my house. Yeah, while I'm walking, that's my world tour. And in regard to this song, and Michael's topic today, karma, this would be sort of an example of bad or unskillful karma that gets handed down from one generation, and try to be more aware of it. It's called Chain Unbroken Chain. His heart had turned to stone from a love gone so wrong, pushing all kinds of people out of the way. Every time he comes home, you feel so all alone, trapped inside a cage with a madman. I know you fear his anger, but can you feel his pain? Chain unbroken chain, back in the bottle again. There's a hole inside your head where the poison goes. Father to the son, damage already done. What the hell you gonna do with all that anger? Everyone tries to tell you, but you will not listen. There's a wolf on the prowl and he's waiting outside your door. Are you ready to quit, or do you want to go around once more? Chain unbroken chain, chain unbroken chain. There's a diamond on the devil's gate. Go ahead, cast your fate. Feels just like a drug or temptation. itch the pain. Living a lie, all that false jubilation. You don't see the danger, your mind has gone insane. Chain unbroken chain, chain unbroken chain. Everybody has a gun, they don't wanna be outdone. A hollow ghost, you think it'll keep you from harm. But once you fire that shot, you lose everything you've got. You cross the line, you're nothing now but a player. You think you're out of danger, you think you found a way. Someone's coming, they're pounding on your door again. Please don't do it, please don't let them in. Chain unbroken chain, chain unbroken chain, chain unbroken chain, chain unbroken chain.
Okay, thank you, Bill. So this is the time of the service when we invite you to come and share the microphone and share a joy, a concern, a sorrow. Diane will be the fire keeper as usual, and the floor is now yours.
Hi, I'm Jackie Franklin. I've been gone a while, so I have several things to say. First, the joy. I went to Portugal to see my daughter and son-in-law. It was a wonderful trip. I was so glad. I didn't think I'd ever do any more flying, but it was worth the flying. And secondly, is I just want to shout out a big thank you to all of you who helped support me through my shoulder surgery with food, transportation, well wishes, cards, phone calls. I really do appreciate what this community does to help each other, and it meant a lot to me. And lastly, a quick concern. I have a daughter who is trapped in a terribly toxic relationship and is just stuck and can't seem to see any way out. And she needs your thoughts and prayers. Thank you.
My name is Joy, and there's a phrase that I found, and I appreciate it. The author of it is Mandy Hale. Just be yourself. Let people see the real, imperfect, flawed, quirky, weird, beautiful, and magical person that you are. Oh, yeah. And should I do that? Or you do it?
Hi, I'm Larry Perlman. I heard her say flawed, quirky, and weird, and here I am. I have a joy and a sorrow. My joy is, as president of the Asheville Storytelling Circle, we had a storytelling event at the Black Mountain Center for the Arts Friday and sold out the house. And it was a great show. And my sorrow, many of you know Myra Schoen. She used to be our office administrator here. Her husband passed away from a heart attack just on Friday.
I'm Scott. Ease. I'm still Scott. Just a little softer. A couple of 3 weeks ago, I lit a candle of joy and concern, as some of you may recall. The joy was in anticipation of my cataract surgery, being able to have an unobstructed, in-focus view through 20/20 vision. These are just readers, so that turned out well. My concern was what I was going to see. All your faces in perfect focus. That concern was hugely misplaced. No joke, I really do like what I'm seeing. You're all beautiful. There was, however, a concern that I didn't anticipate. My house has mirrors. So, hoisted on my own comedic guitar. And it's only fitting that this mea culpa comes as part of a service on karma. I like you less, Nick.
I'm Mary Solyanova, and I have a concern first and then a joy. With a click of the button last week, I permanently deleted all my emails. I was just aghast. It took me several hours of calling and finding out that they all came back. I'm so happy.
I thought you deleted them on purpose. I was thinking that's a good way to go. My name is Jim, and 4 years ago this week, my wife and I embarked on a wonderful journey of fostering infant children. You may remember Finley, who this week turns 4, and 2 years later, we did another infant who was then called Lucas, then Jace, now his new name is Dakota, and both boys were born this week. So yesterday, we had a dual birthday party for both boys and their each family of 4, and we just had a ball in the park. And it's a wonderful, wonderful journey, and the boys are just growing like weeds, and it's so fun to be honorary grandparents. So I'm very thankful.
This is my first time doing this. I'm Rayana, I'm a new member. And this is not something I typically would do, but last week, I haven't been here for a couple weeks, and the gal who spoke on communication, it was like meant to be that I would show up here last week, because who was here last week? I needed to hear her message about the social isolation. You know, I'm not old, but it is something that I've been wrestling with since I moved here 4 years ago. And I'm a very social person, but COVID got me in a rut. And I'm so glad I found this community, but I'm still new. So I guess my concern that I'm really willing to face right now is I'm just lonely. I don't know, can anyone else relate? And I can be lonely in a room full of people. And community is important to me, and it's almost like I've forgotten how to plug in and create community, because I was so new when I moved here, and then 6 months after I moved to Asheville, COVID hit. And so I just feel very grateful to have found you, because I'm trying to make my way back, and I've been trying to not face this, but we need to face loneliness, because if people don't know, then no one can reach out to you, you know. And so I just wanted to share that and see if anybody else could relate to that, you know. So thank you. You're welcome.
Today is my wedding anniversary. We got married in 1952, and my beloved passed in '09, but he's still with me.
Happy anniversary.
Hi, my name's Anna, and I have a kind of a mixed, I don't know what it is. The first part is very joyful. My little brother was born today. It's his birthday, and I talked to him this morning. He's the jewel of our family because he was a mistake. So he's all of our little brothers, even though, you know, he's in his 70s. But he's a lovely man. And during Ray's struggle over this, especially the last 2 weeks, my brothers have just been, every single day, they call me or text me or something to say, how is Ray, and send love. So, you know, you don't even realize, because my brothers are very far away, how important that is. And I've been passing it along, so I just want to be grateful for my little brother, Bob.
For those of you who, for whatever reason, decided not to come up and share, know we keep you in our thoughts and prayers. Thank you. We will have our meditation and the usual time of quiet. So please center yourselves. This is called For Someone Who Did You Wrong. It's a wonderful book by John O'Donohue called To Bless the Space Between Us. Though its way is to strike in a dumb rhythm, stroke upon stroke, as though the heart were an anvil, the hurt you sent had a mind of its own. Something in you knew exactly how to shape it, to hit the target, slipping into the heart through some wound window left open since childhood. While it struck outside, it burrowed inside. It made tunnels through every ground of confidence. For days it would lie still until the thought would start it. Meanwhile, you forgot, went on with things and never even knew how that perfect shape of hurt still continued to work. And now a new kindness seems to have entered time, and I can see how that hurt has schooled my heart in a compassion I would otherwise have never learned. Somehow now, I have begun to glimpse the unexpected fruit your dark gift had planted, and I thank you for your unknown work. And now, while our minds are one for this brief moment, I leave you with the eloquence of silence. And so it is. we'll ask for the money after his performance. Can make that straight. That's a great idea. I want them to pay attention to it.
Sing well, Bill.
Give me just a second. I dedicate this song today to Larry Perlman and his love gang down at the corner on Wednesday nights. Some people want more money, they wrestle with their fate. Some people want to be married, some want to separate. Some people want more power, control everything they do. Some people you can't get near, some just want to be with you. Some people born with
So, I'm only one, but still I am one, and I can't do everything, but I can do something. And because I can't do everything, does not mean I cannot do the something that I can do. So in that spirit, we collect this morning's offering. I just want to remind you, thank you, and thank you for your generosity. I'm reminding you or asking you to stay for the meeting. We're not at a quorum yet, and we need every vote. So we'll get you out of here. But this is what happens when you join. So let's talk a little bit about forgiving and karma. And I want to be clear at the outset that you can forgive someone and still not have them in your life, or decide that you can't have that energy in your life. So we're not asking you to practice this idealized form of forgiveness, which can be pretty destructive, actually. And forgiving or not forgiving is a very personal matter. It's a very personal matter. Only the heart knows. But then again, what can be more contradictory and mysterious than the human heart? The longest distance, you've heard me say, that you'll ever travel is from here to here. And there's no doubt in my mind that the power of forgiveness is a powerful spiritual tool when you put it into practice. It can't just be an intellectual exercise. I grew up, like many of you, where, true forgiveness, I don't know, it can't be practiced when people threaten that you're going to be barbecued for eternity in a hell after physical death, or even when you're bribed by the idea of going to heaven. Forgiveness comes in its own time, and it really can't be controlled. Again, it is a powerful tool, not just for you or me, but for the one who is forgiven. The stone or boulder is removed, a weight is lifted from the shoulders of another human being. One's inner life has become unshackled. The slave is set free, a second chance is given, and believe it or not, after the slate is wiped clean, we come to realize, I know I have, especially as I've gotten older, that second chances are sometimes rare. And so the debt is paid. Our trespasses and those who have trespassed against us are all forgiven and are free. And so the gift of forgiveness has been offered to us, but what we do with that gift is definitely up to us. The words of Howard Thurman come to mind. He says that we fail to see collectively that on some level our crown is already bought and paid for. And all we have to do, all we have to have is the courage to wear it. If only we could forgive ourselves. If only we could forgive the world for not being the way we think it should be. The late writer and activist James Baldwin put it nicely when he said that he truly believed in his heart of hearts that we as human beings can all be better than we are. Baldwin said that all of us are brothers and sisters, and as he aptly puts it, baby, if you can't take it there, then you can't take it anywhere. This is the belief that assisted me on my path personally of forgiveness when my brother was murdered and when my ex-brother-in-law was murdered. And so, you know, you get it, I'm not the only human being who has lost a loved one to senseless violence. Is it easy? No. But whoever told us that life was supposed to be? I have found that the trick is to say yes to life, to say yes to everything, to everything. The poet Rilke expresses it beautifully when he writes that the task of loving another human being is the most difficult task, for which all other work is mere preparation. Each of us must learn how to love, but I would add to that, we have to learn to forgive. You cannot have one without the other. And so the word karma, well, not just the word, I mean, let's talk about the idea. Karma comes from the Sanskrit, which is the sacred language of India. It is the oldest language in the world. But it fell out of common usage around 600 BCE. It is now predominantly a liturgical language that is used in the religions of Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism. Originally, it meant doing or action. That is what karma meant. And but its usual meaning had to do with the law of cause and effect. But here's the caveat. Karma means not only that certain causes have certain effects, but it means that, for instance, a good cause produces a good effect, and a so-called bad cause will produce a bad effect. And one more thing. You can count on the effects of the deed to come back, to boomerang back sooner or later. Our intelligence agencies talk about it. They call it blowback. You can call it a boomerang. And this goes for the good deed as well. It may not come back when you think it should, though. And that's where your Nervous system gets a little agitated. It can come back in your next life. If you believe it or not, it does happen. But let's focus this morning on the not so good thing. The idea of karma is most often found in Hinduism and Buddhism, as well as in New Thought teachings or metaphysical teachings, where the influence of Eastern spirituality is pretty robust. At times, this it may sound foreign to people schooled in the Judeo-Christian tradition, yet these concepts are found in the Bible. For instance, in the book of Hosea 8, verse 7, it is written, "For they have sown the wind, and they shall reap the whirlwind." In Galatians 6, verse 7, "Whatever a man sows, that shall he reap." Now, this is nothing more than the teaching of karma. It's the teaching of karma in a slightly different way. And now, if this is too religious for you, I should have put a disclaimer at the beginning. Here is the same idea expressed by Ralph Waldo Emerson, who early in his career was a Unitarian minister. This is from his essay, Compensation. He writes, "Punishment is a fruit that unsuspected ripens within the flower of the pleasure which concealed it. Cause and effect, means and ends, seed and fruit cannot be severed. For the effect already blooms in the cause. The end pre-exists and the means, the fruit and the seed. And his entire essay is really about karma, even though he never uses the word. Now, he does mention the word nemesis, which is the ancient Greek word for retribution. So you call it what you will, or goes by any other name, karma, compensation, or nemesis, but the idea is the same. It is a universal concept, and deep down inside, you know it's true. You know it's true. But it is also true that at times the so-called wicked prosper and the righteous do suffer. Why? I don't know. That's a bigger question, isn't it? Suffice it to say that most people get exactly what they deserve most of the time. I believe that. It just may not be exactly, again, when I think they should get it, especially if I was the person who was done wrong. As the old proverb says, when you're 20, you have the face you were born with. When you're 50, you have the face you deserve. I need the cataract surgeon that I was talking about. In one sense, the idea of karma is comforting. The human spirit, we hunger for justice, and perhaps we have this need because such a thing does genuinely exist in the universe. But again, would we ever be thirsty if there was no such a thing as water? But in another sense, the idea of karma can be quite disturbing. You have done something wrong. The repercussions of your deeds are bound to catch up with you. And that is the law. It's pure and simple. It's not personal. It is the law of the universe or the multiverse. It's called cause and effect. You reap what you sow. All of us have done something wrong at some time in our lives. As Hamlet says, use every man after his desert, then who would escape whipping? There is no way out of the law of karma, except one. It's called forgiveness. The law of karma is impossible to prevent. It's like the law of physics, so there's no avoiding it. But if karma means that you will get as you have given, then forgiveness is the answer. If you forgive by the law of karma, you are entitled to forgiveness. And while Buddhism doesn't mention a lot about forgiveness in its texts, we also see it's part of the philosophy. In Buddhism, forgiveness is not presented as a moral commandment. Instead, it is presented as a way to end suffering. The Buddha says, forgive others not because they deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve peace. We may see someone initially as a bad or evil person, and perhaps later, with some maturity and insight, we may see him or her as a flawed human being, just like we are. A burden is then lifted from us, emotionally and physically, and it isn't always easy. Forgiveness can sometimes take decades. It can take years. One of the most difficult things I've had to do in my life was to forgive someone who wasn't even sorry for what they'd done. Listen to this poem by Alfred Austin. It's called Forgiveness. Now bury with the dead years, conflicts, dead and with fresh days, let all of them begin anew. Why longer amid shriveled leaf drifts tread when buds are swelling, flower sheaths peeping through? Seen through the vista of the vanished years, how trivial seem the struggle and the crown, how vain past feuds when reconciling tears course down the channel worn by a varnished frown. How few mean half the bitterness they speak. Words more than feelings keep us still apart, and in the heat of passion, the tongue is far more cruel than the heart. Since love alone makes it worthwhile to live, let all be now forgiven and forgive. In the Christian Lord's Prayer, we're told to forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who have trespassed against us. Now, in the original Greek, which is interesting because Jesus spoke Aramaic, but the New Testament was originally written in Greek, but we're finding other things out. But the Greek word is orphilia mata, which means to owe someone. The word is also used to refer to a person's working wages. It has nothing to do with sin. There are a few parables in the New Testament where Jesus is teaching about forgiving monetary debts. And these are not so-called sins in the latter adopted use of the word, but they're like little obligations that you forget to do, social duties, large and small, but we fail to fulfill, we forget, or we just ignore. Monetary debts can serve as a symbol of these obligations. Even if they were not, murder or other crimes, we feel guilty about them. We reflect them the way we talk every day. I owe Deb a call. I owe her a birthday card. If you fail to call someone or send a birthday card to them, it's not a sin. But these slights can weigh on you just the same, sometimes more than genuine offenses, which we tend to put out of our minds when we can. Some people will feel guilty because they didn't return your phone call. But they forget that they may have done something to ruin another person's life. It's interesting, isn't it? Forgiveness is not complete unless we take all of these things into account. The Christmas present we didn't give. The dinner invites we did not return, as well as more serious offenses and crimes. So we forgive our debtors. This is very, very important. But what's most important is how people treat you is their karma. How you react to it is yours. Simply put, it means that it's our job to do the forgiving first. It's tough. Many times I've remembered Mark Twain said that one should never put off tomorrow what can be put off until the day after. Jack Kennedy was once quoted as saying, "Forgive your enemies, but never forget their names." And Jack should know. There's no escape from guilt or grievance or even fear of the future except for forgiveness. Peace of mind is unthinkable without it. Unless you forgive, you live in a forest of enemies, and you never know when they will strike. But when you forgive, those anxieties are vanquished and you replaced by tranquility. This peace or tranquility may happen not immediately, but it will happen, I can guarantee you that. And as forgiveness takes root and grudges and resentments begin to dissolve, life starts to offer you opportunities and vistas you could not have imagined before. The enormous part of your mind that was taken up with slights and petty offenses, or maybe major offenses, is now available for what? For genuine creativity. It's the gift, forgiveness is the gift that keeps on giving. Forgiving you is my gift to you. Moving on is my gift to myself. To forgive is to set the prisoner free and to discover that the prisoner was you. If you're still asking what forgiveness is, after all this, here is the simple answer. Forgiveness is the scent that the rose leaves on the heel that crushes it. Amen. Ashe. And blessed be. Please rise as you are willing and able and join in our closing hymn, number 144. And again, please stay if you can. We urge you to stay for the meeting.
Because we don't want to delay it, and we'll have to if we don't have a quorum.
There were cookies. Let's show some love to Bill Althorpe and Maestro. The words of Universalist Hosea Ballou, if we agree in love, there's no disagreement that can do us any harm. But if we do not, there's no agreement that can do us any good. Have a wonderful afternoon.
If you want peace in this world, there must be peace among nations. If you want peace among nations, there must be peace in this world.
You might have one.